Hello, Stamper. Welcome to Frenchie's video. I'm France Martin, independent demonstrator with Stamping Up at frenchiestamps.com. Today I'm going to share how to do a simple frame. I was inspired right here in the catalog on page 22 that is using By the Bay Suite. So I'm using the paper. It's on page 23 here called By the Bay. And then the stamp set and the die, it's Seaside Bay. I got a video just for, well, also include the paper, the basic for the dies and the stamp with the paper, because some of the paper you can use the die to die cut. So I will attach that video at the end of this one in case if you missed it or you need a refresh course. So I am using the By the Sea. Is it By the Sea? Yeah, by the bay, the designer series paper. But first, we're going to do our background. You could always use some of the paper here to do the background. Um, Absolutely. It's just I wanted to sponge. It's one in particular that I think would be great. Maybe oh, okay. Maybe I think I just have one strip left. This would be great here for it. Absolutely. Um, but like I said, I almost use it all. So I want to use some of the other paper too. So this is heavy whisper now, basic white. So the heavy cardstock for the base and 8.5 by 5.5 square at 4.25. We're going to do the background. The background is very simple. I'm using one color, balmy blue. This you're going to do it at your own risk because I'm going to drag my ink pad. When you drag the ink pad, if you hit right at the edge of the paper maybe, or maybe you get something on your table that can rip the foam on the pad. I've been doing this technique for, I don't know, many, many years. I don't have a problem, but in case that you would damage your ink pad, I'm not responsible, okay? So when you're going to drag, you go very softly and you can go back and forth. And the reason why I like this, it's the variation that it gives me. Then if I use a sponge, or the blending brush, it's very more smooth. This it's more um, texture. Okay, next step, I die cut. I use the long strip for the sand here. You could always rip it and so on. And I stamp the little dots. In this one here, I add stamp the one with the shelf. You can see in the back. I decide instead of using those shell, I am using the little clam shell. So I'm going to use the big one, the medium, and the small for this because it's all about pearls. Okay. So this is about 1.25, 1.5. And I sponge some crumb cake and some blue also, bashful blue, the same in the sky. And I splatter some wink of Stella. That's all the drop. And I think that add a lot. And that you just squeeze till you see it's prime, your wink of Stella. And then you just flicker, okay? I done that on some of the shell too. Now you're going to put that at the bottom. Like to open this up. I think I'm done with the ink, so I'm going to remove that dirty paper here. Okay, if it's a little bit wider, no, it's pretty much good. Or just a shiver here. You can always go from the back, especially the side, right? Okay, now that we got that here, you're going to need two strip of the paper. And in the catalog, they cut it in different direction. I cut it mine all on strips. This one, you see, they use the paper and they cut it this way. I mean, this way. So you get your slat. I wanted the one all on the long way. So I cut it this way at 3/4 inch, strip of 3/4 inch. And then I trim it two at 4.25 and two at 5.5. Now to make it simple, we're going to do just two cut at the 45 degrees. You can do all four at the 45 degrees, But I find this trick that I'm going to share with you make it a lot easier to do the frame. Let me So you're going to need another, I use a scrap of this that you want a square 3/4 by 3/4. Now you're going to take your scissors, or you can put that on the board to cut. I'm going to cut from one point to the other point. That's what's going to give us our 45 degrees. Voila. Now, from there, we will, I'm going to do both at the same time, save some time here. And you're going to put that right here. So you want the strip to be, keep the length at 5.5. Keep that in mind. I'm going to flip this the other way just because it's almost the same color. But you're going to put that right at the corner. So you see your 45 degrees here, right? Now we're going to cut that. I'm righty, so I'm going to have to flip this way and hold that tight and cut that right here, 45 degrees. Now you're going to take the other hand, and this here, that's where you have really to pay attention. How do I know? I made the mistake more than once. Because you take this and you're going to bring that and maybe go this way here, right? You're going to say, oops, I'm going to go 45 degrees, put it this way, cut 45 degrees. Well, see, you're going to have short piece here because you're going to cut here. Oh, that worked. That one worked. So if you would go the other direction, so you want to make sure that where you get the longest, it's the longest there too. So you would not want to do this way, because then this way, see what's going to happen if you cut it this way? It's going to be short there. This is going to be long, short, long, short. So you want to make sure. Maybe I'm confusing you, but you're going to, if you make the mistake once, you're going to say, oh, now I know. So you want to make sure the top, it's all long. So the point need to be at the top, and then you're going to cut at the bottom short. Okay, I want to make sure this is all straight. And then we're going to cut. Okay, hold this tight. And cut. Voila. That's the way I find it the easiest to cut my 45 degrees. Now, let's leave that. We're going to glue the side first. This one we won't cut. You could cut at 45 degrees. If you want to cut those one at 45 degrees, you're going to put the top one there, here, and then you're going to cut. But I find it's no use to cut it. So what we're going to do, it's glue that. I like to use Tombow glue anytime it's something precise that have to be just very on the edge and so on. And the reason why I like liquid glue, because it gives you the chance to move it around if you're, when you do contact with the paper, if it's not just straight, it gives you the time to move it around like what I'm doing right now. And I'm going to go flush at the top, and the bottom, if it's a little bit longer, we're going to trim from the bottom. A lot easier to trim at the bottom than the top. Now we're going to do the next one. The next step, glue on my pants, glue on my shirt. That's typical in this room. On the next step here, we will, it's optional. I try different thing on this one here. You can see my corners, but I think the one that I like best, it's take the early espresso writing marker, put your paper right at the top here where it's going to go. See how lovely it fit here? Oops. Voila. Get back up. This one here, it's really a liquid glue job. Now I take my marker and I'm going to do a line here. And then I got my line. I can use my ruler after that and have it more. Et voila. Now we're going to do here the same thing with this one. And you're going to see what it add. It really gives the look of like it's together, right? I could always go from the corner and measure, that 3/4 inch. I find it a lot easier to go with my cut there. And I'm going to come here, and then we're going to glue this one. You could always add very little over here, very little sponging, okay? When I say little, I mean very little. Now we're going to take this, and again, I strongly recommend the liquid glue so you can shove it, whatever, move it around. Fudge it. That's the word I was looking for. You can fudge it. Oh, see my line there? It's not quite. I'm going to go back then. If that happened, my line was too much on the inside, I can go back here. You know what? I think we're going to glue it and then put our marker in. That's much easier. Okay? That's a proof that the more you do, the more tricks that you find, right? Et voila. How cool is that, right? The light is a little bit bright there. Maybe that's better. Hmm, I don't know. Oh, I know what's wrong. 1 second. Now, I need to turn these on. Here we go. Much better. Now we're going to do the next one. So that's my best advice to do a easy frame. You could always use, if you get, you can use the dies. This one seems a little bit shorter. If you get the dies to cut a frame, absolutely, and then you can add those corner to the center with let me push that, with the marker, because I think, see the difference, no marker and marker. I personally love the marker. I think it give that depth of that frame. I had glue there, it didn't take too much, that's okay. Here, voila. How cool is that? Now for the frame, not the frame, the shell. I shared the video on how to do the shell here. Um, what you're going to do, that's the full clam shell. I'm going to use glue dots. And in the video, I had said the third one, the third scallop. We're going to go the second. Change my mind after it was done. So you're going to go the second scallop, put a glue dot there, put a glue dot there. By the way, I sponged that with a bit of crumb cake, blushing bride, and then pool party. Now, some of it I had a little bit of pear pizzazz. I think the pool party do the trick. It is two line when you cut that. So see, it's going to give you a nice clamps there. And I'm going to squeeze it and round it up. See, as I squeeze, and some of you are going to say, well, that's still going to go flat when you mail it. You're going to be surprised how much it stay up. What I'm going to do is take a dimensional, and I'm going to use my scissors here, and then, oops, well, it want to stay on my finger instead of the scissors there. Here we go. Now squeeze this and put it almost at the end there. And that's going to pull the scissors, and that's going to keep it a lot more, open this way. Now, we're going to take this, and this is going to go there. But before I want it to push a little bit there. Let me try. Okay. Before that, I build that. We're going to take the thank you. You can put happy birthday. You can put whatever you want. Okay, I got the thank you here. Without a block, you don't go far. So I'm gonna use balmy blue on balmy blue. Anytime it's the first time you stamp, when you ink, I like to do it on a scrap paper because it seemed the second time after you come in, you get a lot more ink. And then I'm gonna come here. Oh, I could have put to you are a pearl rare and precious. That would have been a good one. I got this one done now. Okay, now I got the grass, and that's all part of that the seagrass, part of the same dye. I again the video going to be at the end. It's all cut on white, not white, vanilla. I like to do it on vanilla. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to glue that. I use glue dots. I use so much glue dots in this room. I love my glue dots. Add the loose one there. I'm going to go ahead, put that there. Not glue yet, just see about where I'm going to go. Now see, I did sponge one on the reverse side just because I can have more little in the center, bigger on the side there. I'm going to put this one there. Now I get those little one. And you're going to say, well, it looked kind of funny on the top, but that the shell going to go at the top of that. So you won't see that part, okay? So you're just building your grass here. And you know what? I think this one, I'm going to put it more in the center. And then if I can, oh, I can put one about here, more. Here we go, something different there. Now, again, I'm going to use glue dots. I wouldn't put a dimensional in the back of this because you get a dimensional in the center and we're going to have the pearls there. So you want to not so thick, right? Now I'm going to put that right here. And then I get the medium one. Now I'm going to use my bone folder and just twist it a little bit. This one, though, because it's nothing going on top and so on, I can use a dimensional to put in the back of this. Absolutely. And I'm going to put this one right there. And then we're going to go ahead and the little one, going to use a little glue dots there. Not glue dots, but dimensional. Because those one are lower than this one, right? Because this one already got the dimensional in, plus it's going to be a pearl inside. Another thing why it's good to put dimensional like this, it's if you put blinks that they're thicker, like pearls and so on, that's going to kind of protect it right there because it's going to have that give there. I'm going to put that one right here. Now, I got a tough time when it's plain at the bottom like that. So let me grab, I get the light uh, blend of crumb cake. I just going to add a little bit at the bottom to see like where it sit. I always have a problem to have something that is just floating. This it's more attached to the frame. I want it. Okay, this one I'm going to have to put another glue dots here because I want it attached to the frame there. Here we go. Now, those lovely pearls, they look like mother of pearls. We're going to use a big one. You see, I've been going happy with them. I just love these pearls. And this one, I'm going to squeeze this a bit. And I'm going to put it a bit that it's coming. Oops, I get a little one there too. We're going to take care of that. I didn't see that. I don't want the little one there though. It's my, okay, my glue's still there, I think. See, we have to. We can do it. We can do it. Okay, so now where the okay, that little pearl, you're gonna say, well, did you lose that little pearl because you don't have no more backing? No, I just gonna fold this one in two here. And I'm gonna put that right there. Take my little pearl that we didn't have no more backing. You know what? Where is my pick tool when I want it? I'm gonna use my pick tool here and put that right at the top. Here we go. Now we're gonna use another one. See how much better the pick tool work with this. Okay, so now you see when it dry, my blend, see how lighter it is? So it's just give kind of a shadow there. That is it, my friend, to do the, and inside though, I think inside, I will use the one with the conch shell here with crumb cake and do at the bottom. So what I would do is, and you know what? I think I would use a little bit more sand, the long one here. Et voila, that's a great border to go with that stamp set, right? So that is it, my friend. Very simple to do the frame. I will have all measurement and all the supplies that I use. This is in the January to April mini catalog, and it says to the end of April, but it could run out before then. It's while supplies last also. So keep that in mind. This is it, my friend. Till next time, happy stamping. Bye bye for now.